5-10 minutes पहले आने दो, 15 मिनट पहले कुछ
Sure, it's broadcasted. It's broadcasted.
हो गया, आया तो हो जाएगा। मैं व्यूअर।
Good afternoon, Viresh. Good afternoon, Abhijit, and good afternoon, Rajan Pandit ji.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
तो अभी अब ऐसे ही रहना है ना अभी बस?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, now what to say in this? आप मुझे बता दो।
अरे आप तो सिर्फ इतना ही है सर, उसकी तारीफ कर दो। आप दिल्ली में बोलना कि हमको आपकी स्लम स्कीम बहुत ही ये है, हमको दिल्ली में भी चालू करना है जो हमारे हाउसिंग मिनिस्टर ने बोला है, तो आप हमको गाइड करो यहाँ आकर।
क्या
स्लम स्कीम बोला ना,
स्लम स्कीम जो कल डिस्कस हुआ है।
हाँ, जो हरदीप सिंह पुरी ने बोला है, तो बोलना कि हम आपको यहाँ पर बोलेंगे, दिल्ली आ जाओ और हमको गाइड करो।
ओके जी, 2 मिनट बोलना है ना बस।
अरे बस आपको जो, अरे सर इधर बाकी आप महाराष्ट्र में से तो ज्यादा है नहीं, बेसिक उसको जो चाहिए बेसिक आप बोलो। Congratulate him, he is young person doing a very good job.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल। Done, sir.
Yes, sir.
या आप भी
Welcome, अशोक।
कोऑर्डिनेट कर रहे हो ना?
अशोक वेलकम। क्या हो गया सर? राजू जी आप कुछ बोल रहे थे?
नहीं, I said you are coordinating ना?
नहीं, first Niranjan will do it with the way we did it for.
wait, but you are coordinating it.
Yes. After Niranjan, I am doing it. Yes.
Very good, sir.
Thank you, sir. And I told Niranjan sir also, you can talk to Amitabh Kant.
हाँ, मैंने बात कर ली उनसे।
And sir, if you can get Ajay Bhushan Pandey.
Okay. उससे बात करता हूँ कि yes
sir.
वो आजकल वैसे सब घबराते हैं फाइनेंस मिनिस्ट्री वाले।
नहीं, but you know Dakshita Das?
हाँ जी,
Dakshita Das, additional secretary.
नहीं, there's only one Das I know, शक्तिकांत दास।
सर उसको ही बुला लो।
पूछता हूँ कि बोलना भाई देखो, कुछ आप अनाउंसमेंट तो कर नहीं सकते हो, पर हमारी प्रॉब्लम्स तो सुन लो।
यस, बुला लो ना सर। अरे सर वो तो जबरदस्त हो जाएगा।
चलो ठीक जी, मैं बुलाता हूँ।
सर 10,000 registration, I assure you today only.
Okay. यार, with the number of registrations going up, even if we start charging $1,000 तो अपना पूरे साल का बजट हो जाएगा।
Yes. सर क्या होगा? वो आज वो लोग बोलेंगे घर बैठे आमदनी कुछ नहीं है, सिर्फ ये खर्चा करवा रहे हैं नरेडको वाले।
हाँ तो बोलो करो ना यार, करो कुछ तो खर्चा करो। Yes. नहीं, बट आपने कमाल का किया है। योर इनिशिएटिव हैज बीन रियली वंडरफुल।
सर ऑल क्रेडिट टू यू एंड निरंजन सर।
आप लोग ऑल क्रेडिट। देखो, लड़ते हैं सिपाही, नाम सरदार का होता है, तो दैट इज द ओनली थिंग, बट सब काम आपने किया है।
नहीं, सब लोगों ने किया है।
अरे
तारा मैम, you are on mute. Tara ma'am, you are on mute. Tara ma'am, we can't hear you. Tara ma'am is talking, but we can't hear you. Yeah.
But you are a true Sardar. बोलते हैं ना कि each Sardar is worth 1.25 lakh. Rajan Pandilkar is worth 1.25 lakh.
When stalwarts are paying compliments to you, just say thank you.
राजन सर, सुनील गवादे, नाशिक।
नमस्कार।
सर कालच्या तुमच्या मीटिंग मुळे सगळं चार्जअप झालंय नाशिक।
ते आपण नंतर बोलू हे संपल्यावरती, कारण काय माहितीये का, आता कधी पण हे लोक येतील 2:50 व्हायला आले, 2:55 ला आदित्यजी येतील, निरंजनजी आल्यावरती। यस सर, गुड आफ्टरनून अनिल सर।
गुड आफ्टरनून राजन भाई।
गुड आफ्टरनून। या तारा मैम, योर वॉइस इज, यू कम नियर द माइक।
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, little louder.
One personal thing, you're looking very dignified. Please do not go back to coloring your hair.
Yes.
This is a personal choice, madam.
Sorry?
This is a personal choice.
Yeah, but then I can give him advice.
Sir, nowadays you don't have a choice.
No, there are some people, sir.
Nowadays,
some people where I take the liberty of telling them what to do.
No, I'm saying you have made a personal choice So similarly, we should allow Rajan Bhai the freedom after the lockdown.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah. Because during the lockdown, everyone will follow what you have done.
That's true.
Yes.
But seriously, he's looking very dignified.
Tara, maybe salt and pepper blue.
Ma'am, this is another word. Graceful.
How nice you're looking. But seriously, Rajan, you've done a great job, huh? Okay, thank you.
No, but genuinely a great job done.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Tara, ma'am, thank you.
Welcome,
I was just asking him what is the registration. Total registration has crossed 3,000.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
More than what we had for Mr. Parekh, huh?
No, Parekh had 8,500.
Oh, okay.
Ma'am, Parekh mein to there were 6,000 bankers.
That's true. That is true. Very true.
Now Parekh, we'll have to talk to Parekh sir to give us loan because there are majority cancellations happening. So we will make you our leader, and we will take you to get loan for all of us, all of
You
our
heard
members.
what he said last time itself. My ex-employee wants to question me. अभी मुझे ताकत नहीं है उनके सामने आने की.
अरे अभी तो ex-employee है ना, उसमें क्या मानता है?
नहीं. He's always Mr. Parekh, क्या? Come on.
चल bye. Yes. I will just request Niranjan sir to come because it is already 2:50.
Please. रितेश भाई क्या हाल है? नजर नहीं आए आप इतने दिनों से.
मैं आज ही आया हूँ.
अच्छा, कहीं और थे?
तेज भाई नमस्ते.
नमस्ते सर.
नासिक से सुनील गवादे.
यस गवादे सर, नमस्कार.
नमस्ते.
Raju, sir, you are looking young and dynamic.
Yes, sir.
Niranjan sir has come.
welcome.
Niranjan sir, you can start, sir. General, whatever it is that, because I spoke to Vyang. He told me in another 5-7 minutes, Aditya sir will log in. So till then, you can start, General.
Yeah, I spoke to his office also just now. Okay, thank you very much. I think our vice chairman is also there. Thank you very much, Chairman Saab, for coming and joining us today.
An honor to be with you always.
Yes, and it's really, really good. Thank you so much. The whole idea of getting the youngest minister of Maharashtra was to actually understand how the entire machinery is now working. Just for your information, that Aditya Thackeray Sahab has been very, very busy with the COVID issues, and he is incestuously connected with the whole subject on a 24/7 basis, and has been following it up with concern and monitoring and assisting all the issues of seeing that everybody is taken care of in the city, Mumbai, Pune, and all the areas. Importantly, all the difficult areas and work he has been very much focusing on. So he's this young minister has taken it up in great earnest. That's extremely good. The second part of it is the fact that the situation is not very healthy, as is obvious to all of us, that the numbers in terms of the urban conglomerates is not very healthy either in Mumbai, Thane, Pune, Delhi. All these areas are actually seeing a much higher pace of growth than we would have liked in spite of the lockdown which has taken place. The third is that across the board in the country, the government has slowly tried to see that industry should make a start, and those operations in terms of transport and production of goods to be started across the board if they are not in the red areas or in the issues with. So we are really there. The issues in terms of the urban and conglomerates is quite severe, and that part of it still continues to be like this. So until the 2nd of May, I do not expect that more concessions could be given to real estate than what is already being done. The third part is that a lot of responsibility has been decentralized. So the local authorities, whether it is the commissioners, whether it's the collectors, or it is the local bodies, they have all been warned to take care of the situation in their local areas. And hence, they are more conservative in terms of operation, and which is a good thing, because it ultimately makes a world of a change in terms of finally getting the results. So we are seeing this in things. On the other hand, the industry has been left to the issues to take care of the workmen, which we are doing. And also the fact that we must see to it that all the places that we work with or work into, it is properly sanitized on a regular basis, and that our workmen and workforce are taken care of, whether in terms of food or their health or all the other factors which are really taking place. And this is a commitment that we have given to the state government, to the central government. And I had a message this morning also from Mr. Mishra, our housing secretary, who also wanted to reconfirm this message that we should take care and we must communicate to the members of NAREDCO to take care of the fact that all the safe distancing issues are taken care of, and any place where concessions are given in terms of starting the work, also adequate safety norms in terms of using the masks or using any other cloth on the mouth or keeping safe distances is actually followed to the T, because we still don't have the final result that we want to do. So these are the issues as far as these factors are concerned. On the financial side, using the good offices of our chairman and other people. We have been representing to the government of India at the Prime Minister's office, at Niti Aayog, in the Housing Ministry, in the Finance Ministry, and other departments of the government and central government to represent that there should be some stimulus package that must come quickly. We had represented to the RBI, as you are aware, and RBI has given a 2-year package. The 1 year time was given earlier, and 1 year extra time has been given for the purposes of delay in start of work or doing the work, and so 2 years additional time has been given. So these are the issues which are there at the central government level. Also, we have represented very strongly that there should be a overall cut in GST in terms of 50% for the period of 6 months to be financed by deficit financing, which we believe was supported by Niti Aayog. So we are looking at that in a very positive manner, that such a facility will come. It will help demand to be created across the board, including real estate, of course. And that was something which we are waiting for. RBI has been able to give additional funding to banks and NBFCs now. So we hope that NBFCs will now again be able to bring financing to the real estate as an industry. So these are the couple of things which NAREDCO has been taking a leadership role, both at the central government level and representing at the state also, which you will hear about subsequently. But a lot of activity is taking place on this. The last part is that I have to thank the entire team at the national level and at the state level, and of course now Mr. Rajan Bandelkar and the entire team at the state level, and of course the entire team. I have to mention 25 people if I had to give names, and but really doing a fantastic job in terms of it, of getting the people to do it, representing to the various authorities, preparing, getting drafts done, and everybody has been very much proactive on it. So these are the couple of things which have been done by NAREDCO in order to take these issues forward. And we are quite hopeful that government is on the listening side for us. They have their hands tied in many respects, A, on the financial side, B, on the COVID issues, health problems. So I think this combination is really a situation that needs to take care of it. So these are the couple of things I thought we may have to interact with at our level, which we can talk, and then we can take it up at the level of these things. So if, can we check if Mr. He should be joining in any moment. Rajiv Talwar, anything else to add at this moment before he comes?
Haji, I think, Maharashtra is the most important state for the Indian economy. To be holding the reins of Maharashtra is a very heavy responsibility, especially in such times where the entire metropolitan cities of India are affected the most critically by COVID. I think this breakdown moment, which is being seen in many countries abroad, should be seen by the youngest minister in the most important economic state as probably a breakthrough moment. And he should actually be setting for his generation the future system, how it works, because Bombay and Maharashtra are known for urban development. They have the largest number of cities which are economically viable, whether it be Mumbai, Navi Mumbai, Pune, Thane, Nasik. I mean, name it and you have those cities here. So, Nagpur included. So I would really request that, yes, this is a time to lay down new policies where there is no stoppage of work, but in fact, there is a fast track clearance and certificates and permissions are given for years to come at one time, so that there is no stoppage at all. Otherwise, Mumbai and other municipalities in Maharashtra also have this problem that first clearance is given only up to the plinth level, then up to a few stories high, then again number of repeated stories, and maybe environment clearance, which was not introduced in India till 2005-2006, and it used to be done locally in a form common to everybody, should perhaps be introduced by them, just as he has done reduction of stamp duty, the only state to have done it right now, by 1%. Maybe for ladies and senior citizens, it should be larger.
Rajan, would you like to say something before our minister comes in?
No, sir. As usual, this has bound all our members together, and this is a very good initiative. And thanks to you and Raju Talwar sir as well as Tara madam. So to get all the speakers, so NAREDCO has become very unique from all point of it, and the members are also loving it. And today only Sunil Gavde from Nasik, he wanted to tell me that about Nasik's whatever his member told him yesterday. So I would request him to talk about that, because we have got some time. Sunil, now you can tell.
I wanted before Sunil you speak, 1 second. I just wanted to thank Mr. Vihang Sarnaik. Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you for putting in a word to Mr. Aditya Thackeray to join us today. Thank you so much.
Sir, we should tell Vihang to take a active role in NAREDCO, because I am after him. He is not listening to me. So now you tell him as president.
Under your guidance and Rajan Uncle's guidance, definitely we'll think about it and we'll do something. Anything for the real estate and.
Vihang, other times we would not tell you so much, but today the industry is going through such a crisis, as you are aware.
True.
Any support from you and all the rest of the young team will actually be extremely useful to add on to the entire thing.
And we also have a young leadership representing our state, so I think it's the right
Correct.
Next.
Okay. Can I get?
Thank you.
Vihang, आदित्य सरांनी सांगितलं की जरा तू म्हणजे माईक चालू करून सांगून टाक पटकन, म्हणजे इथे आदित्य सर लॉग इन करतील त्यावेळी तुला निरोप आले की सांगून टाक इकडे.
Okay, yeah, sure.
या सुनील, सॉरी.
सर्वप्रथम म्हणजे निरंजन सर आणि राजन सर, थँक्यू. आज मला पॅनलवर इथं तुम्ही संधी दिलेली आहे. दुसरं, काल जे निरंजन सर आपलं जे नाशिकच्या याच्या बरोबर टीम बरोबर आमच्या जे आपलं इंटरॅक्शन झालेलं आहे, तर मला आपलं हे झाल्यानंतर वेबिनार झाल्यानंतर खूप फोन आले. सगळे लोक आपल्या पॉझिटिव्ह याच्यानंतर खूप चार्ज आहेत. निरंजन सरांच्या त्या सगळ्या इंट्रोडक्शन आणि सगळ्या बोलण्यावर सगळ्या लोकांनी मला नंतर विशेषतः म्हणजे SMS करून, काही जणांनी प्रत्यक्षात सांगून सगळे लोक खुश आहेत आणि पॉझिटिव्ह नोटवर कालचे आपलं बोलणं झालंय. आणि राजन सरांचे पण स्पेशल आभार. त्यांनी पण सगळ्यांना अगदी व्यवस्थित उत्तरं पण दिलेली आहेत आणि साधारणतः आपल्या NAREDCO कडनं आपण काय काय करणार आहोत याची पण सगळ्या गोष्टी कळलेल्या आहेत लोकांना. आणि मला असं वाटतंय की आता या वेबिनारच्या माध्यमातून NAREDCOचं जे म्हणजे आमच्या नाशिक मधलं असेल किंवा महाराष्ट्रातलं असेल, याचं स्थान खूप मोठं झालेलं आहे. कारण की सगळे लोक इतके चांगल्या या वेबिनारमुळे एकत्र झालेले आहेत आणि जे काही नॉलेज मिळतंय या वेबिनार मधनं, ज्या लोकांना भेटायला मिळतंय, मला असं वाटतं की सगळ्या ज्या पर्सनॅलिटीजना भेटायला मिळतंय, यांच्यासाठी आपल्याला किती टायमिंग घ्यावं लागलं असतं, किती अपॉइंटमेंट घ्याव्या लागल्या असतात मला माहिती नाही, परंतु एकाच वेळेला या 1.5 महिन्यामध्ये मला असं वाटतं की राजन सर आणि हिरानंदानी सरांमुळे आपल्याला एक स्पेशल फीस्ट मिळाली आहे आणि विशेष नाशिककडनं आम्ही सगळेजण आभार मानतो. सो व्हेरी गुड थिंग. थँक्यू सर.
Thank you. I wanted to make a special mention that though we are now today going to talk as NAREDCO, and obviously the focus is on real estate, the main thing is that Mr. Aditya Thackeray, the youngest minister, is concerned with the entire Shiv Sena cadre, and that is extremely important for us to understand the direction in which the entire state at the along with the chief minister is being taken. So I think this time you will get a much wider flavor than what you normally would have for the other webinars that we do. Of course, our emphasis is to see that what we can bring about, what are the issues in terms of the real estate industry, and point it out to him and take his support and help. But also the fact that the vision of a young person who comes into it at a position where he not only is the minister, but he's also a very important person in the Shiv Sena cadre, and wields a huge amount of influence in terms of the direction in which the thought process of the entire party is going. So it's extremely important for us to understand how these young minds are working and thinking. And I promise you, you'll be very proud to hear of the way he's thinking. So there is a different insight that you will get today from him, because I would like him to speak not only about the industry, but also the aspirations that the Shiv Sena has for Maharashtra, and also the fact that there is a great vision in the idea of taking this state, the city, and the whole thing forward, which I think is important for us to understand how the future of Maharashtra is going to go. So there is going to be a much broader idea, thought process among the discussion that we are going to hold today, as differentiated from the normal meetings that we are having up till today, which has been more focused only on our line of business. I'm just telling you this because you may hear something much broader than what you normally get from the discussions that we have held, which is more focused only on our industry. But our idea is to understand the entire goal, aspirations, and the vision also of leadership, which is now running the country, running our state, and think how this is going to be taken forward. So that's
Aditya ji will be joining in the next 5 minutes. I just got an update.
All right. Thank you.
Niranjan,
Yeah.
Hi.
Yes.
There is
Yes.
one request, because
Yes.
we've got all kinds of people on this discussion today. And when Mr. Aditya Thackeray comes, it'll be very, I think people will get into this thing of talking to him in Marathi. Request that you either question him and answer him in either Hindi or English, because this is pan-India and very, very few people really understand Marathi.
All right.
Thank you.
I think he will speak mostly in Hindi or English, but there will be some Marathi which you will have to forbear.
Correct.
So you may hear
Sir,
a small percentage Marathi, but principally he will be in Hindi and English.
Please.
Niranjan sir, let him be talk in whatever language he wants to talk. जितने लोग बेसिकली यहाँ पे महाराष्ट्र के लोगों को ज्यादा समझना जरूरी है, वैसे लोग समझ लेंगे. सर, राजीव सबरवाल is also on the already there on the panel.
Mr. Rajiv Sabharwal.
Vicky Oberoi also has come.
Mr. Rajiv Sabharwal, thank you very
Sir,
much.
you have to unmute. Rajivji, unmute your mic. Unmute your mic.
Mr. Sabharwal.
Oh, no, thank you. Thank you so much.
Rajiv,
I've been listening to all the good words.
You have been so supportive of the industry right from the bank onwards, and the leadership role that you have played in the financial world in terms of innovative funding and financing. This is a time where we will be needing your guidance and others most. So I'm very glad that you have joined today to us in Mexico, and we look forward to your continuous guidance. I don't know how much time we'll have, maybe 1 or 2 minutes if you have something to say.
No, it's I've been involved, and as I say, we are all in it together. And since we've also got a fair amount of exposure to the industry, the biggest thing I want to say is, and which all of us have to work on, give more buying power to the customers. I feel that has not got enough focus. How do we get more money in the hands of customers who can then buy bigger properties or can buy a property? That is whether it comes through a lower tax rate, whether it comes through tax benefits on housing, but it somewhere should lead to more money in the hands of the customer so that he feels more comfortable in buying a house.
So one of the things which Naredko and ASSOCHAM have suggested is a 50% cut in GST to increase demand for the next 6 months to be financed by deficit financing in order to kickstart the economy and restore demand, something on the lines of what you have suggested. And the second major suggestion which we have made in the last 3 days is to give a credit guarantee for additional funding to the extent of 40% of the additional funding given during the COVID times in order to push the 6,90,000 crores which are lying in reverse back with the Reserve Bank of India in order to push that as the start. What is your view on these two suggestions, sir?
No, both these suggestions are good, but I'm going to a more direct suggestion also of going to the Union government and saying that should we for this year look at a lower personal income tax rate, so that there is the psychology of the individual changes when he sees more money in his hand. Today he's more worried about whether he'll retain his job or not, whether his business will be able to revive or not. But if he knows that if he's going to make money and good portion of that may get retained with him, I feel the buying power will come back. So both your suggestions are very good, and we should take it.
At your third suggestion, can we suggest 25% rate of tax on lines of what was corporate tax as being the highest marginal rate of tax?
Yeah, absolutely. Even if it is for 2 years only, because by that within 2 years, I think so we would have overcome this hump and would have come back to the original state of growth. But during this 2-year period is when the people will need support.
Thank you very much.
Guys, there is one thing that I want to ask you all. All
Yes.
this income tax, GST and all is a center subject. So
Yeah,
why
but
is
if it is financed by the deficit financing, then it comes to the finance minister and the cabinet of India, not to the states. Because if you do not reduce the rates and the benefit of the tax still goes to the states and
I understand that, Niranjan. I'm saying why are we bringing it up in today's forum? Let's not talk to
No,
Mr. Thakur
no,
about that.
no.
Because it is
Tara,
Mr. Aditya Thackeray. That's why we're bringing it up. It's a
No.
very, very good suggestion.
Yeah, Tara, what will happen is the state finance ministers form the committee for the GST. So it's through the states that it has to go as far as GST is concerned.
All right.
Mr. Neil Raja is with us. Neil, can you speak 2 minutes or up to the time when Mr. Thackeray comes in?
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Neil.
Hi there. On the REIT side, I think the central government in the budget have done all the tax changes required. The SEBI has to make some minor amendments to allow private REITs as well. But this could be one avenue for developers as a whole and even government in terms of InvITs to raise capital right now. And this is something we all should evaluate. There is still investor interest, global investor interest, because interest rates in India, the real interest rates are the highest in the world. And people want to see this kind of returns coming in, which they're not getting in US, Europe, or anywhere in Asia. In fact, our real interest rates being the highest, everywhere else is negative real interest rates. So I think this could be one opportunity for us to look at it, other than looking at maybe low-cost housing in some other places.
Neil, we should also get oil from America because it costs $0 at this point of time. Why don't you import it from there? And
Last evening it was negative $40.
Yes.
So why don't
But
you
that's for
at negative $40 and sell it to India for zero cost? It would be a good arbitrage.
Yeah, but you know what? I think what we should actually look at as a country is what Mexico did a few years ago. Is when oil was at 70, they sold oil futures at $70. And last week, China has actually bought oil at $20 for the next 10 years. So I think India has got a great opportunity to do something like this, to buy oil futures at this price, as opposed to our import bill of $120 billion. It could come down to a third if we do this future of oil futures.
Thanks, Neil. Mr. Vikas Oberoi is there. Could I have Mr. Vikas Oberoi in, please?
Hi, everybody.
Hi. So I think whatever Rajiv Sabharwal said, I completely endorse. As far as our industry goes, I think the real focus has to be, giving money in the hands of the buyer. If we can make it attractive for them to buy, we will not have to go to anybody to seek money. And of course, we will need all the support from the state and the central government, with the GST and even stamp duty reduction and waiver. But I think all in all, we all pretty much know what we want. I only want this forum to ensure that all stakeholders come together. We are always speaking in isolation with individuals, but never get an opportunity to bring, the finance minister, the housing minister.
Okay, I think Mr. Aditya Thackeray has joined.
Great.
Sir, Aditya ji is joined. Niranjan sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's telling 1 minute. Yeah, he's telling 1 minute.
Okay. I think he's. Can we send him the right ID? Raj. Hello.
No, we have already sent it. He's already there.
Yeah.
I sent him new one.
It's come from my ID.
Yeah, I will change the name there. Okay. No, Bian, there's no problem. I will change the name there.
Okay.
So Niranjan bhai, if we have all stakeholders together, then we can certainly hope for a quicker relief. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicky.
Bian के आईडी से आया देख.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon. And
sorry, there's a slight delay. There was an issue in logging in, so I was trying to figure out which link and trying to fill the details of Nareko. Then I got another link.
Jai Maharashtra.
Jai Maharashtra.
Okay, so I'm really pleased to be here, to be able to interview on this forum that we have got, and it's a really a proud privilege for me, because this time, can we put other people on silent, please? Can the moderator put it on silent, please? Thank you very much. I honestly welcome you, because you're the third generation of the Thackeray family that I have the opportunity and honor to deal with. The tiger, the first tiger that I met in my life, the real human tiger, was in terms of your grandfather. And the paradigm that he did during his time when he led Maharashtra was a paradigm that Mumbaikars and Maharashtrians cannot forget. He was the one who put me on the committee for the slum rehabilitation committee and created that housing for all for the slums should be a right of every person who lives in Mumbai, even though he lives in a slum. He wanted a pakka ghar. He wanted to see that the policies made a change and that Maharashtra should see a different vision. He brought about the flyovers of Mumbai. He also thought of creating all these ideas which came up, and that meant the pride of the state. This pride then got converted into a national pride, where we at Bharat felt proud to be Indians. And I think that is the legacy which you have been fortunate enough to get. In the last 5 years, which has happened, I want to state about certain things that was carried out by the government, with Shiv Sena being part of it. You added 300 kilometers of metro. You're working on the Cross Harbour Bridge. The government started the Navi Mumbai airport in spite of all odds, the coastal road, and the Pinjal River project, which will bring water to the entire metropolitan region of Mumbai. All these factors are a pride as far as Mumbai and Maharashtra is concerned. And for people who don't know what it means, is that all these projects put together, which have been commenced, amount to a total of only 3 lakh crores. It has never happened in the history of Maharashtra in the last 60 years that we commenced this much infrastructure ever. This is where now we come to Aditya Thackeray, the young man who fortunately graduated from a college of which I am a trustee. So I'm really proud to have a student of mine now leading Maharashtra in his own way. He not only heads the Shiv Sena in a significant way in terms of leadership, but he's also taken up subjects which are close to all of our hearts. He's taken up in a very, very challenging time, a subject of tourism. And he wants to make Maharashtra and Mumbai into the tourism capital of, if not India, Maharashtra, if not India, the entire world should come as tourists to Maharashtra. This is one of his aspirations. He's been talking to me about how we can have more industry in the state. It indicates the kind of thought that he has brought about it. I'm really happy, Aditya ji, that you have been able to come over here today. The industry is going through a lot of pain. In the last 3 years, with demonetization, GST, RERA, all these other aspects of problems which came up for the industry caused us a lot of pain. Now, with COVID, we are with you in terms of the additional pain which the industry has to go about, but we are very, very happy to participate in everything that the state and center wants us to do. There was a statement that industry, we at NAREDCO, we as members of the real estate industry, whether it's CREDAI, whether it's MCHI or any other industry, all people coming in the real estate field, we have been looking after the workers on our sites, and there have been plenty. Only 4,000 workers are only on my sites. So there are lakhs and lakhs of workers. We have lost count as to the number of workers that are there whom we are taking care of in terms of food, shelter, sanitization, and other things. Today, I am proud to have you here. I'm proud to have you here because we are going through a very challenging time. Never imagined that we would get how many participants already on the screen. We have close to 2,000 participants. If you want to know the exact number, sir.
2005.
1972 as it stands just now, which is quite an extraordinary thing for a minister of Maharashtra for NAREDCO's platform. So we are extremely happy to tell you that there are a large number of listeners who are waiting anticipatedly to hear from you about what you feel about the situation of COVID as it stands today. What is it that you're looking forward not only to today, but also tomorrow? And not only tomorrow, but what a post-COVID Maharashtra is in your dreams and aspiration. It is your future and the future of youth like you that we at NAREDCO are preparing the houses for. The houses that we want to create will take care of the future of Maharashtra to the young people of Maharashtra and the future of our country. We are very, very proud of you. We are very proud of this state. We are proud of our entire nation. So look forward to have you to speak to us, Aditya ji, and hopefully wishing you the very, very best in this endeavor of your sojourn as minister and as leader of this state. Thank you very much and most welcome.
Thank you so much. Firstly, let me thank you for the very kind introduction. And I was hoping that after the introduction, we end the meeting here so that, there is not much of any more adjectives applied from later, whatever the opinion of, all the August audience out here would be. But I hope to keep it going as it is and, as good as if you mentioned me. Most importantly, I think, please put the rest on mute because I'm getting a lot of echo. Could be the rest on the mute. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. So most importantly, let me brief all of you on the issue of COVID-19. As you know that we are in the middle of the biggest crisis the world has ever seen in the history of humanity probably. No time in history before has seen global transport, global movement, economics, trade, commerce, tourism come to a grinding halt as it has come today. And I think that is extremely worrying for all of us, because it's not just about why this is all stopped. It's also about the fact that we are fighting against a virus that nobody is yet knowing how to grapple with. The fact of the matter even today is various countries around the world are trying to figure out what testing procedures are best. Is there a cure for this? Do you manage this or do you cure this? How do you handle the situation? And in that, a population like India, where we have more than 100 crore people in our country, obviously it is a huge task at hand for any government, be it a small state, a big state, the country, the federal structure, right from our medical staff to the police to all of us out here. And I'm so thankful to all of you. I've been wanting to interact with all of you because, so many of you, when this COVID crisis started, even before we appealed to everyone that, please come and help us as governments for the PM relief fund or for any other issue, a lot of you here have actually contributed to the cause either in, money or in kind. I can name so many of you. Mr. Hiranandani himself has given 5 crores and much more than that in terms of kind. Mr. Oberoi out here has, right from day one been in touch with me. He has been speaking about masks and food and cooked meals. So many of you have been doing that. I'm so thankful to all of you, and I convey our gratefulness from the Chief Minister to all of you and from the government to all of you. When I say from the government to all of you, it doesn't mean that we are two different sides. Government also includes all of you, and this government especially includes all of you because Mr. Hiranandani, if you remember our first meeting and right after that, I have always wanted all your voices as one common voice to be assisting the government in every foot it takes, every step it takes ahead. I think that is what governance is, because it's one unified voice with many voices in that voice together and moving ahead together. Maharashtra, as of now, in the 6th or 7th week that we are in, I'll just read out a couple of interesting stats to all of you, because I won't go deeper into stats because almost everyone is reading newspapers and med reports, but there is a very important stat out here that the samples tested as of last evening are 75,838. Any global country that you speak to, any country in the world that you speak to, the way they say that you got to tackle with this COVID crisis is test, test, test. And that is precisely what we have been doing. We've been testing, we've been contact tracing, we've been reaching out to people. If there is an index case, go out to the high-risk group, the close contacts, trace them, test them. So we've been doing that. 75,838 people have been tested, out of which only 6% have tested positive, which is a huge sigh of relief as of now for us. 94% of the people have tested negative. Again, in this, there's this whole thing, symptomatic, asymptomatic. So if I have to go by asymptomatic cases, 84% of these cases are asymptomatic. 14% are symptomatic with mild symptoms and 2% are symptomatic. So I think this is a very critical stat for all of us, because when we talk about being COVID positive, all of us obviously have a certain amount of fear and anxiety, which is fair and which at this point could be also good for everyone, because if it's keeping us indoors, whatever it takes, it is good for us. Because the only way to tackle this right now and stay safe is to stay indoors, not step out. Or if you step out for any essentials, wear a mask and step out. Even if you're at home, keep washing your hands. I think this is something that the whole world is looking at. And I've said this before, but this is a very crucial turning point, not just for our state or for our country, but humanity at large. If you remember what happened after 9/11, the whole perspective of security apparatus around the world, global airport changes, the whole world changed in terms of how you look at security and terrorism after 9/11. This is a moment, something like that, where the whole health apparatus around the world will change, because simple things like, for example, when we see questions being raised about why do cities don't have any ICU beds, or why are hospitals falling short, or why do we not have enough N95 masks or PPEs. The point is, till now, we've never needed that, in that much quantity, even though most of our municipal corporations around India, state governments, central governments, all of us were always equipped for an epidemic, but an epidemic of this scale, this quantum, of this, speed was never needed before, never seen before. Again, in terms of, if you see any other disruptions the world has faced, be it wars, be it terrorism, we always knew that there was an enemy in front of us. Here, the enemy is invisible. Here, the enemy is so minute that we don't know where this is coming from. Of course, the WHO has put out guidelines, Government of India has put out guidelines, the ICMR has put out guidelines, there are medical procedures, protocols being followed. Even in Mumbai, again, like I said, 75,000 is in Maharashtra, out of which maximum is in Mumbai. Now, this has been only possible because of government and private labs, along with people like all of you who have sponsored many kits or PPEs or N95 masks. So your contribution to this has been immense. And this is the current scenario of COVID. Of course, there are procedures and protocols set, our doctors are handling it. Projections may be, with different agencies and consultancy groups. There will be varying projections of how we move forward. And a very popular question has been coming across all the Zoom calls that I've been doing, or all the video conferences that I've been doing, is till when is this possible? Till when will the lockdown go on? And there are two questions in this. Of course, one is till when will the lockdown go on? Two, how long is the lockdown sustainable for? And the only answer to this is, of course, that this lockdown can go on and is sustainable only as much as we as a country make this successful. To be successful, not in terms of how long have we dragged on the lockdown, because a lockdown is something we have to impose it out of force. We're not happy to impose a lockdown. Success would be how sooner can we lift the lockdown when we break the chain. I think that will be true success in this. Of course, I know that there has been a huge economic downturn. There has been a huge economic pain for all of us. Everyone is facing pain, and I've been speaking to various industries, right from travel and tourism to now the real estate industry, to to small traders, to large scale industries. And of course, the economic pain is something we are all feeling. And the point is, right now we have to save our lives first, and only then can the economics run. Of course, as government, we are committed to help all of you ease out the pain points as much as we can. But our first priority today, like Mr. Hiranandani rightly pointed out, is to save lives. Only when we save lives can we save the world. And that starts from all of us. If one of my friends actually pointed out this to me, that how do we save lives? And he always tells me that, when you go on an airplane, when you board an airplane, the announcement is fasten your seatbelt, sit straight while landing or take off. And if there is a drop in oxygen pressure, the mask will come down. But again, in that, the caveat is, before helping others, wear your own mask first. So this friend of mine always tells me that if you want to help the people, help yourself first, stay fit. And in this situation, if you want to help the world, save yourself first, stay indoors, make sure your family is staying indoors, people working with you, your colleagues, your staff, everyone has to stay indoors, protected. Once you start doing that, you're protecting so many people from the infection of COVID, and hence you're protecting the other people from the transfer of COVID. So I think this is very, very crucial. Of course, this is our first meet. I hope to see you live again and meet face to face and physically, all of us in one meeting room where we can take things ahead. Because not just because of this COVID situation, but I think primarily that I've been discussing with a couple of friends who are in this association and with the other associations as well. Right from the day we took over government, if you remember, the chief minister, the deputy chief minister, the housing minister, me as the environment minister have been meeting a couple of you in different groups. And the point has been that Maharashtra obviously has the largest amount of industry, the largest amount of manufacturing, the largest amount of services, and probably a very, very vibrant housing industry as well. Yes, I know that in the last few years, because of demonetization or because of haphazard implementation of GST, all of that, we've been feeling the pain, and I have been hearing constant issues from all the friends. The point is, as the new government, we have decided, how do we take this ahead? How do we move forward? Because yes, we know the pain points. And as governments, if we start behaving that we are the only wise people who know the solutions to this, we're not going to be successful. As governments, if we are going to be deaf to you and your pain points, a lot of industries that bank on you, a lot of you whom we bank upon in such times of crisis, are not going to be successful. The only way to success is coexistence, is speaking to each other, having a dialogue and having a meaningful dialogue with results ahead. Yes, obviously from the whole dialogue that we have, right from starting from now into a post-COVID world, because a pre-COVID world was very different. A post-COVID world where we're opening up green zones first. We don't know how long this lockdown will go on till we break the chain, because Singapore also lifted a lockdown and then they had a spurt in cases, so they've gone down into a lockdown. So while we do all this, we need to figure out that how do we work in an environment that's going to be very, very different and disruptive because of this entire disruption that has happened in the world. We need to also realize, and probably you know better than me, that the purchasing power of the people may have gone up, may have gone down. The money is probably locked in with a couple of people, but is not in circulation right now. So how do we move on all these things is somewhere I would need your readings on, your observations on, your interventions on. So that is where we start off as a state together, because I don't see a difference between me and you when I speak about government, because you have voted for the government and you have supported the government in times of needs. And this is all of us together as government. The working of government operates on the administrative bit, legislative bit, executive bit, and also the people. So the people are an important part of government, and people like you who contribute to the economy, contribute to the working sector of the economy, are extremely important. Like I said, I won't promise you that everything will be possible or 100% things will be doable in the short term, but let's start off how to move ahead. The post-COVID world is something we're already preparing for. We have made a task force of a couple of economists like Mr. Deepak Parekh, Dr. Raghunath Mashelkar, Dr. Vijay Kelkar, and a couple of more. We're also looking at expanding this sooner, if not later. We're also looking at how do we bring industry from across the board into Maharashtra. So these are things that are going on while we tackle with the COVID problem. I won't say much because I know the questions are increasing out there. So we would jump into questions. Before I conclude my opening remarks, I just want to thank you all, thank all of you once again from the bottom of my heart. Not as a conclusive thank you, because I know we are going to keep on troubling you, and you are going to keep on responding to the calls of help during this crisis. Apart from the calls of help, be it in terms of monetary help to the Chief Minister's Relief Fund or to a particular hospital or cooked meals or whatever you're giving in kind, I would also request all of you that now that we have connected and I've been responding to a lot of calls, I see a lot of people also sending out SOS messages. Any person across Maharashtra, any region, any group you think needs help from the government, support from the government, needs groceries, vegetables, medical intervention, please feel free to call me 24/7, because this is the job at hand. And I think each one helping the other would really mean a lot. Thank you.
Niranjan sir, only 1 minute. Aditya ji, you are logged on at two places. I will tell the host to keep one this thing only. So automatically, if it goes out, you can, because it is echoing, because from two places we can hear that voice. Whereas Abhijit, you mute Aditya ji at one place, so automatically we can hear clear.
Sure, sir.
Yes, sir. Niranjan sir. Niranjan sir. Yes.
I'm really thinking. I can't believe that such a young person was speaking these thoughts, because of the kind of vision and the broad thought process that you have brought to the table today. Actually, belies your age. So thank you very much for saying what you did. I wanted to start off by talking about one or two things which I think trouble the industry quite a lot. Since there are questions from industry, I'll just make a start on it. One was the issue of the construction workers who are there on the sites. We had represented to the Home Ministry in order to at least be able to start the construction work on the sites where the workers are already there. And keeping them in their huts is more difficulty to keep social distancing. But if those workers in the regions could be made to work, I think that would be a better thing to do in certain cases. And secondly, those where the state has started the construction work, which we think they should, some of the works which is relating to basements and open out things which are going to be dangerous if kept open during the monsoon, if those selected permissions can be given also in the interim period, then there would be a relief. And the third part is, of course, the financial relief. I want to thank, through you, the Chief Minister, that in the last budget, you reduced the stamp duty in terms of the Mumbai metropolitan region and others. The rest of Maharashtra who is there today is also seeking a similar relief, if not additional relief in terms of those parts. So these are my questions, and then I'll pass it on to the others also and give it to Rajan Bandilkar to bring out the necessary people. Thank you.
Starting from the financial relief, if you notice that we are going slow a little on this, because obviously when we started off way back in March, we started off with a lockdown way before anyone in the country, and we started around 9th, we shut down schools, we started work from home, then colleges. Around 18 March, we were into a total lockdown, and 23rd March is when the country went into lockdown. Obviously, at that time and throughout this whole month of March and April, we've obviously got a lot of petitions and representations from a lot of different sectors of our Maharashtra economy, and everyone's been, suggesting various measures, be it travel, tourism, be it reducing property tax or GST or electricity. And if you've noticed that we have done steps, we've taken steps bit by bit, be it the electricity charges or be it, handing out money to the construction workers across Maharashtra. But we've not jumped into anything because we knew right from the start, looking at the pattern which is in China or Spain or Italy or United States, that this is going to be a long drawn thing. And for that, when we're fighting for the citizens or keeping everyone safe, we of course need to have money at hand. So that has been a major concern for us. So we are working on that. And it is our duty once this thing is over to sustain and rejuvenate every single industry. And that we will be doing for sure. How do we do that is somewhere we would obviously have all of you on board and start having discussions very soon and work out a modus operandi for that and method for that we can give a stimulus package to a couple of crucial industries across Maharashtra. About the workers on site, we have initiated a couple of green zones across Maharashtra, the notification for which has been issued yesterday as of the 20th. Workers, continuous manufacturing industries and all that have started, essential products have started. Slowly, as we start realizing that, okay, we can plateau out our curve and we are breaking the chain, that's where we have no hotspots, we can start off. So as much as I know that we need to start off before the monsoons for the municipal corporations of Mumbai and Pune, where we have containment zones, we've started essential works like roads, micro tunneling, the coastal road, the stormwater drains, so all of that to reduce this. Because while we're doing this, as the Guardian Minister the other day and today also, we've been interacting with all the assistant municipal commissioners, because on an everyday basis, we have to tackle with two issues. One is the health issue, where we have patient input, patient output, treatment, all of that is being done, and that's being done fantastically well by the municipal corporation in the state. But the other hand, as we are trying to, the world has gone into a suspended animation. The world is on pause, work is on pause, but time isn't on pause. So obviously when time isn't on pause, we've moved from March to April, April to May, and we'll get into June. Obviously the predictions for monsoons as of now are on time, and if it is on time, we also have to prepare for the monsoon works that Mumbai, Pune and other cities and rural areas face. So obviously in a city like Mumbai, we have to finish the roads that we've taken up. We have to finish the micro tunneling, stormwater drains, GMLR work has to go on, Kalanagar flyover, so many flyovers, plus you have the Western Express Highway being relayed. So all these works have started, and along with that, we're also working on tackling the menace of malaria and dengue that will come with the monsoon and other, illnesses that come along with that. So we don't want to overburden our medical system with that. So these are the two things we started tackling with. Plus, we have migrant labor that we are sheltering across Maharashtra, close to about 6 lakh migrant labor. So we can't have them homeless when it's monsoon. So we have to care for them. That is something we're working on. So these are issues that we're working on, and about the essential pre-monsoon works that the real estate sector would need in their own vicinity of construction. I think that if something we could work out, if you could give a list side by side, we could possibly try to figure that out with the municipal commissioner and the assistant municipal commissioner.
Thank you. May I ask Rajan to moderate the different people who want to ask questions? Rajan is a Shiv Sainik who's Rajan has been very active in the whole thing, and in fact, sometimes he's so hyperactive that I wonder how I can manage him. Rajan?
तुम्ही म्यूट वर आहात.
सर धन्यवाद. राजन बांदेलकर, मी नेरळको महाराष्ट्राचा अध्यक्ष आहे. आणि मनापासून धन्यवाद. आणि वी आर व्हेरी हॅपी दॅट यंग ब्लड इज लीडिंग अस. And I will sum up before I want, there are many people who want to talk to you, who want to wish you, and who want to take guidance from you. So first I would request our chairman Raju Talwar. He is from DLF. Raju Talwar, sir.
Thank you, Rajan Bhai, and welcome to the Honorable Minister. I not only welcome you on behalf of all India NAREDCO and all members of NAREDCO. It's a great pleasure for me. You cannot imagine, this name of yours has been the dearest to me for the last 4 decades. We have only one child who's also named Aditya. So therefore, it comes genuinely from the heart what I think of you and how highly I think of you. I also think, as Mr. Hiranandani said, that what a mature head on young shoulders. I think we are extremely proud to have a new generation of leaders like you, and we hope that yes, you will be thinking of the next 50 years for this nation and for your state of Maharashtra, Jai Maharashtra, because it is the most important state economically for India. Not only in terms of finance, not only in terms of entertainment, not only in terms of manufacturing, services, but very, very truly in terms of urbanization and agriculture also. So we think what you are deciding today will set the tune for the next 50 years coming from a family like you do. It is, whether it is Mumbai, whether Navi Mumbai, whether Pune, Nasik, Nagpur, Ratnagiri, all of Maharashtra is perhaps the most important economic indicator for the world to see. My request to you will be, sir, that this is a moment of crisis undoubtedly. No one can realize it more than those who live in metropolitan cities and super metros. Yes, it is going to be the cities which will determine where we have the curve flattening out. But I also think that you are young enough to think of this not only as the lockdown moment in India, but also the breakthrough moment in India. The policies which you set rolling in the immediate term, medium term, and long term will determine the place of India as one of the 3 most important countries in the world, whether it be US, whether it be China, and then definitely India. And in that, the crown undoubtedly would rest with the state of Maharashtra. I am quite emboldened by what my colleagues are going to mention. All over India, they have hopes from you. But yes, we need things like, for instance, when the environment clearance was introduced in 2005, 2006, it became known as a tax. I think we need to do away with those multiple clearances which take a long time. These are all cyclo-style forms. Give it to the builders and let them go ahead. The more housing we can make, the less of slums we will be able to see, and the less of shame on our own shoulders. I'm old enough, having served in the IS and now in the DLF as the CEO, but I can assure you that the industry will stand in hand with you. We have ourselves done about 28 lakh meals. We have given, of course, to the Haryana COVID Fund 5 crores, to the other states also. We've also given medical equipment, whether it's be ventilators, beds, specialized equipment, sanitizers, gloves, name it, and we stand by you.
Raju Talwar sir, my request is that let's put questions. There are so many people who want to ask questions.
The real questions for us are how to decrease the mortgage rates so that there is more money in the hands of buyers. How do we actually introduce REITs, which are, I'm sure Neil and Vicky Oberoi will be speaking about it, but it is also true that we need to have a rollover and a GST, and of course the income tax rate, maybe for 2 years, as is going to be suggested by one of our colleagues, should be brought down to 25%, so that people do not go off the record books. They come everything, and the number of taxpayers increases from 4 to 6% to something like 10-12%, and we collect much more taxes. Thank you very much for giving us an opportunity.
Aditya ji.
Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you. In fact, for, like you said, with the environmental clearances or the municipal clearances, with the DCR, with unified DCR, all of these things have been already set and rolling as soon as the new government came into place. A couple of you are aware that we've set up a joint committee with the housing department and the environment department for merging these permissions or putting it on a fast track. So all of that actually would be in a post-COVID world now. Unfortunately, we'll be pausing for
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Because for Mumbai especially, most of our problems in the city are to do with housing. And
Correct.
we have to move ahead with that, if, like Mr. Hiranandani pointed out, about, that would be in 1995 when my grandfather actually brought in the SRA to solve the issues. And now we have to look at a reformed way of SRA. How do we suit SRA for 2020? So how do we do that is something the government has already started working on.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Neil Raheja.
Aditya, it's always proud to have a fellow Scottishite doing such a great job from Maharashtra, and I must compliment you on that.
Thank you.
I must also add that you're doing a remarkable job in the state in controlling the health situation. A lot of the large metropolitan cities have seen a massive spread in it. And in those circumstances, given the fact that we have so many slums in the train system, we've done a remarkable job. We've contributed to your fund, to the Prime Minister's fund, but more importantly, I think the two things which we've seen on the ground where your corporation, for everyone's benefit, has been actively working. We've given 400 rooms of our hotels, and your people are doing a remarkable job on following up, making sure that the healthcare workers are taken care of. The only suggestion I have is they need a lot more personal protective equipment during this time, which there is a shortage of. We also have we have a COVID hospital, and we've treated 180 patients. And the good thing I wanted to add here is most of them are mild cases. The viral load seems to be very low. For the real estate industry, I wanted to highlight that before this crisis, they were already in an extremely precarious situation. And, with all the various things which has been happening for the sector. And this has been the last nail in the coffin coming in. Some of the other related sectors like hotels, retail, malls are going to be far more affected and for a far longer period of time. So some of the suggestions we had, and I know you're looking at it, but what some of the other states have done is they've actually stopped charging municipal tax, land under construction charge, power bills for the period of the closure. And I know we've had a long closure period, but what that will help real estate developers do is use that spare money which they can make sure people's salaries are paid. And I think right now making sure people's salaries and their health is taken care of is important. And if the corporation can use some of their surpluses to either stop this payment during the shut period, failing which at least defer it, it will go in a long way to fight over the temporary crisis during the shut period. And thereafter, post opening up, some of the suggestions I had for you to consider is most developers will not get financing right now. NBFCs are not going to fund developers. All the surplus money RBI has put has gone back into RBI. So 7 lakh crores lying with RBI. But for them to start, if we could defer all premiums for now, it will help them start work. And as long as they can pay it before occupation certificate, they can use whatever little bit sales they have to get construction done, and therefore the construction workers' jobs and salaries, wages could be paid. So we're just suggesting to defer it for now. The other thing which is affecting and will affect sales when we open up is today the ready reckoner in a lot of our cities are actually higher than fair market value, and you will see prices declining significantly. Now there is a challenge for most developers to cut prices and sell, and Mr. Parekh was suggesting to developers to actually start cutting prices to sell. The biggest challenge they have is the government of India charges a 35% tax if there is a differential between the ready reckoner price and the selling price. Both buyer and seller have to pay 35% tax. So unless we consider a 20% reduction in ready reckoner or give a flexibility in that, sellers will not be able to cut the price, and even sales will stop or get hindered because of this thing. Even though stamp duty, you have already done a good job in cutting, but they will not be able to cut because of this double taxation. I think it's called Section 50C, which really affects transactions from taking place. And in fact, IDFC wanted to sell their office to HDFC and they couldn't sell because of the tax difference they had. On the tourism and retail sector, post opening up, there are going to be challenges and expectations. If I see China after 5 months is still not even 18 and 20% occupancy in hotels. And the largest single cost is wages. The second largest cost is power. I think the hotel and tourism industry are really requesting if we could consider something on making industrial rates for power and helping them somehow in the retail and in the hotel industry for wages to whatever extent can be possible. I'm sure we will evaluate that. And lastly, I don't want to have too many asks, but I want to compliment you. Everyone in my organization, we work in 8 states, knew only the environment department people in Maharashtra, nowhere else. But after you've come, they've forgotten their names. So you've done a great job on that. So I must compliment you on that as well. Wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. So all the suggestions are actually well taken. And firstly, thank you so much for the help that you're offering to the government. I think these are the times when we stand by each other even more strongly and emerge stronger out of this. So that is, we're eternally grateful to you for that, and the suggestions that you've put forth as the industry. Like I said, there'll be rejuvenation and sustenance in every industry, right, from tourism to energy to finance to all of this. So obviously there is a greater thought being given to all of it. But right now that we are sort of working out to plateau the curve, that and side by side we have a group of economists who are now starting off, because till now everyone was in that whole fear of not even meeting, and obviously all of us have been told not to step out. But whilst we do that, these are the sort of interactions that are really helping us gain a perspective on what could be a better not a soap but a rejuvenation plan to offer after the COVID crisis over. The point is, when will the COVID crisis get over? I think everyone's just focusing currently on that, and right now we are managing the COVID crisis. Till now, there is no vaccine or cure as of now, instant cure as of now. But yeah, we have been tackling with this, and as soon as we have a link at breaking the chain, that's where I think the post-COVID world would begin.
Sir, it's $1 million question. Everybody wants answer for that question. When the COVID crisis will get over? Till then, I will request Vicky Oberoi.
Also the million then. If someone can answer that, you'll have to add a couple of more zeros to the million.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Vicky.
Yeah. Aditya, like Niranjan Bhai, I've had a good fortune of knowing the family.
No, 1 minute. Vicky ji cannot ask anything because he is a core group of helping on that group.
I know. I'm not asking any question. I, in fact, only want to say that I've been closely watching you and how beautifully you and Mr. Uddhav Thackeray ji is working, so sincerely, I must say. And I also want to tell you that I'm connected to other state governments also through either friends or directly. And all of them are looking at Maharashtra to show leadership, which you all are showing beautifully well. They all are copying Maharashtra and doing exactly what Maharashtra is doing. So I only want to tell you that you guys are doing an amazing job. I also want to thank you for bringing Mr. Deepak Parekh on board as an advisor to the government. He was here with us a few days ago, and he already made a list of recommendations. I feel if you can really look at them and do them, our industry will bless you. Not only will they bless you, they'll stand by you and give you more than what you give them in return. And just want to thank you. You're doing an amazing job. Niranjan Bhai said that, this is a young shoulder that's carrying on huge responsibility. I must also say that it's like baptism by fire for both Uddhav ji and you. You all took, reins of the government, and COVID-19, challenge was thrown at you, and which you are doing a fantastic job of. So my sincere compliments and all the very best.
Thank you so much, and thank you for all the help that you have been offering. I've been seeing on the group right from day one, be it with the modular hospital or the meals or all of that. I think it's this teamwork, and right now you said it's that you are working. I think all of us working together. So, and in that sense, all of us, if we can help other states, other people, that is something we need to look at as well. Because the world is isolated. It's from each other. We are distancing, but it's also becoming emotional distance in a lot of places. And now is the time to stand with each other with compassion and empathy. So, thank you so much for everything you're doing for the state.
We are fully with you. Thank you.
Sir, we have Tata Capital MD Raju Sabharwal sir. So we always go to him for finance. So I will request Raju Sabharwal. Raju Sabharwal sir.
Yeah. First of all, Aditya ji, this is it was fabulous listening to you. What I liked was the simplicity in your words. So I don't think so anybody here wouldn't have understood what your message was. So it reached everyone. First of all, compliments on the way you managed the whole situation. I know the resources are thin, and with those thin resources to manage everything and keep Mumbai in this shape and Maharashtra in this shape, just speaks volumes of the planning which would have gone behind making this happen. I think the biggest challenge which all of us have is how do we restart the whole thing, and what are going to be the protocols of restarting it. And in Mumbai, it's so difficult because whoever I speak to, they say that it will start when the locals start, when the metro starts, when the best buses start. And I know the challenge you will face in how to make the whole the workforce come in, because the biggest challenge as a state which we have is to ensure everybody's livelihood is protected and more jobs get created rather than jobs getting lost. So just 2 points. One is, I think the whole SMEs, the small and medium enterprises, they are the ones which have suffered the most, and how they can be revived is going to be critical, whether it's through financial support or any other means. That's going to be one. And the second is from a consumer side. I think the consumer today is really worried and concerned about, because he doesn't know the tomorrow. So he doesn't want to buy anything. He just wants to remain in a standstill situation. So one way could be, and this is where state and center has to work together, is how do we ensure that we give more money in the hands of the customer so that he can decide rather than we trying to push anything. If his mental psyche changes, then that will be very helpful. So, we were just saying that even for 2 years, if the personal income tax rate can be brought down to a lower level, and then, even if it goes back, because I think we will take these couple of years to get back to normalcy and get back to our normal growth rate of Maharashtra. So those were the 2 thoughts which I had. Not that I have the solutions to everything, but we are trying to work towards with those 2 thoughts in mind.
No, absolutely. Because again, MSMEs or even, the purchasing power of every individual person is something we need to look at a national level, because as you rightfully pointed out, and this happened in the conference of Prime Minister, Chief Ministers, where all of us have decided as to put in a unified plan for the country. And obviously each state will differ, but the states will be giving a unified plan and all our suggestions to the country. A couple of things that we had written earlier in terms of the tax collections or the year ending, all of that has been adhered to and responded to by the finance ministry. I think we will be taking a larger perspective. Yes, there is a certain amount of anxiety because a couple of countries around the world have already issued their rejuvenation plans and stimulus packages, be it USA, be it Canada, UK, Australia. I'm sure that with so many states around, in our country, and each state having a different requirement and a different voice, the country would put together a plan very soon. So, I wouldn't risk the audacity to jump onto a conclusive thing or give you a false hope that this will be done or that be done, because, we will obviously be speaking through all of our perspectives, and each industry being dependent on the other person, being dependent on the state, on the country. I think we will put together that plan. So the recommendations given by Mr. Parekh, or what I have through this conference also, and then a couple of them have been directly speaking to the Chief Minister or to the Deputy Chief Minister, to other ministers. All of us as different departments will be putting together a plan. So that has already begun. Plus, we'll be interacting with other states as well, because we're almost like different countries in a country where we have different economies, different backgrounds, different sectors that each one depends on, and mindsets. So obviously, we'll be having to address each other and then do that.
Well, thank you.
Aditya ji, we have a lady in our entire group. So you will not be surrounded by only men. There is one lady, Tara Subramaniam, who was working earlier in HDFC, then in JM Finance. Tara, ma'am, you can.
Thank you so much, Rajan. Aditya ji, I wanted to ask you one thing, is that Okay, let me tell you one small personal thing. Please give me a little time. When I started my career in HDFC, before that, the family that I come from and the family I got married to, this was way back in the 70s. I was not allowed to join the hospitality line. So the next thing that I joined was the finance world. Hospitality has always been extremely close to me. And I feel that I wanted to ask you, where tourism is concerned, since that is your portfolio also, what is it that Maharashtra government is planning to do to increase tourism? Unfortunately, anyone in the world you meet, they all want to go to Delhi, Jaipur, Goa, Kerala, Rajasthan. So I want to know if there is any plans, major plans for Maharashtra, and with a lot of other countries now not going to have tourism, chances are we are going to have a lot of tourists in India. I want Maharashtra to be one of the hot spots. And also with tourism will come a growth in economy. With the growth in economy will come obviously a boost in real estate also. So I just wanted to know, if you can't answer me on this forum, if anytime you're having any other forum and I could be invited, I'd be very grateful.
No, I'll be happy to answer because, I've been consulting with a couple of people from this forum itself, especially Mr. Hiranandani as well, on tourism, because tourism, when the ministries were being allocated, obviously the seniors got the prime industries, but when we had a choice to ask the chief minister for what ministry of choice would you prefer, I exactly asked for tourism because this is one sector I feel is most underexploited. And that is one sector, again, like be it UK or New Zealand or South Africa, this is one sector where our entire tourism could support the state, because you can have an economy built on tourism.
Right.
You go to something like Stratford upon Avon, you go to Shakespeare's Village and you have 1 lakh people or more.
Yes.
Things like that where we have in Maharashtra, where we have a beautiful coastline. We have some of the most beautiful beaches, be it in Palghar, be it in Raigad, Konkan, wherever, throughout. We've never seen this tourism, being developed there. But of course, ecotourism or balanced tourism with a good amount of hotels coming in, quality hotels coming in, good amount of every strata of society moving around, be it domestic tourism or international tourism. Now with Chippy, for example, if I have to just start off with one example, Sindhudurg. Now that area, if you go into, be it from Goa or from Ratnagiri, that is one of the most beautiful areas.
Savantwadi.
Have Chippy Airport coming there, which was supposed to be operationalized by 1st of May. So that you've got a couple of hotels which were pending for the last 15 years. So we quickly got them sanctioned, we got them approved. There is a Taj and one more. So, these hotels, these resorts coming up, then again, MTDC is some of the best lands available, best properties available, and best spots for hotels available. So we're moving towards joint ventures or PPP models where we could have better brands coming in, partnering with us so that we can offer this to the world. Internally, of course, we can divide tourism into nature tourism, ecotourism, heritage tourism, spiritual tourism. We have no facility of even staying by a proper temple or a religious place across Maharashtra where one of us could go and stay, apart from something like this Shirdi. So if we look at the amount of spiritual tourism that comes to our country, or we can have resorts which are Ayurveda, which are spa, which, all of us travel around the world or across India too. If we can bring those to Maharashtra, for which we've already initiated contact, and the locations are some of the best locations in the country. So there is nothing that could hold us short of developing a proper tourism plan. And that is what we have already started on. Connectivity was one of the biggest issues. So we've started working on that, be it road travel, be it aerial travel. So plans for the hotel industry to start off with. Again, just documenting the places that we have and how we can actually put them on the world map. So we need to have a proper marketing campaign that goes around the world. We need to have the forts that we have. To even reconstruct the forts is not possible because the Archaeological Survey of India, the state archaeology and all of that have to work on that. But even if we start having proper tours, guided tours, projecting the history of the place, whenever, as a history buff and a history student myself, whenever I go to any country in the world, even if I go to a museum or a fort or a castle or any square, if I just pass through that square, I can pass through that square. But if I'm told more information about it to the language I'm comfortable with, I think that is something that really adds spice to the entire tourism sector. So we have already started working on that. Mumbai for the first time was given a lot of money for tourism boost, something like Gilbert Hill. I don't know how many of us know, but the Gilbert Hill is one rock in Andheri. It's like a rock that's standing out. It's 600 million years old. The only other comparative to that is the Devil's Rock in Utah. And they have marketed that to the world, and we have not marketed Gilbert Hill. Something like Ajanta, Ellora, the rock cut temple out there, or Elephanta, or even the Gateway of India. If you just see, these are monuments, but what makes this a monument? What makes it special to Mumbai? What is the Kaneri Cave? How is it connected from there to Thane or Ghodbunder? What was Ghodbunder? So these are things which I think everyone would appreciate if we put them in a proper documented form. Along with that, of course, cities like, for example, when I started off with Mumbai 24/7, the hospitality sector today is the largest employer, direct employer in Maharashtra, where we have more than 5 lakh people only in restaurants. And you have hotels, and you have supply chains, you have ancillary industries, you have farmers connected with their produce. So things like that, I think, would give a boost to tourism. The whole idea is, when we see a general trend of tourism, when people are coming in and flying into India for about 20, 23 days, they're staying in Mumbai only for about 3 days and then moving to the Golden Triangle, or they're moving to Goa or Madhya Pradesh. We have tiger reserves out here. We have beaches out here. We have hill stations out here. We have something like the Lonar Crater, which is the second largest basalt rock in the world. And yet we've never, seen it in light of tourism. You've got hundreds of temples around it. You've got thousands of myths around it, whether it was a nuclear war that created it, whether it was the Devi using a Devi Astra, killing the devil, whether it was a meteor. So all these things, myths, legends, history, documented history, undocumented history, we're the land of saints, of culture, of poets, of literators. We have a good background of theater, art, drama, like Bengal has. So these are things which we could put together. Probably Maharashtra is, the whole theme that is basically Maharashtra means great nation. And obviously everything that is across India also exists in Maharashtra, and except for the Thar Desert. But we have to put together all of this and pitch it to the world. And that is what we had started essentially. And post this whole COVID crisis, we'll be starting to do again. So that is where my real focus is. If we can generate employment and resources for the state through tourism, I think that is where a huge sector of our economy will start running on autopilot.
So one more thing, as a woman, I don't think I need to tell you this, but I need to stress that safety, especially for the women travelers, has to be really, really on international level. If that could be handled, I think Maharashtra can have the best tourism, followed by economy for this state.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because right now we only have the Bollywood and the financial world that is here. Unfortunately, we don't have too many manufacturing industries. So the next thing could be tourism, which is again service providing. So not too much of money will be required. We already have everything. So thank you, sir.
Thank you. And likewise, Bollywood and cricket are two major factors of Mumbai, and we've never exploited them for tourism as well.
Thank you.
Rajan, you're busy?
No, sir. Ashok Munani is there. Ashok Munani wants to ask something.
Yes. Good afternoon, Aditya ji.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. So I have 2 points to make. It is the requirement of developers, that we are requesting you to add impetus to the demand. If you can consider reducing the stamp duty to exactly 50% of what we are paying now. For example, if we are paying 6% or 5%, to make it 2.5% or 3% for a limited period of 3 to 4 months, whereby I can assure you that we would not charge our purchasers that stamp duty and pass on the entire benefit to them. We as developers are willing to bear the entire load of the stamp duty, provided you can put it to your cabinet to reduce the stamp duty to exactly half. This will indeed help all developers in the tier 2 and tier 3 cities who have flats which are ready to move in but are unable to sell. The second point that I want to make is that you are the youngest minister that we have seen for a very long time. But unfortunately, the generation next in our families is shying away to get into our industry. We need good words from you. We need words of encouragement for you, for our younger generation, so that they can carry the mantle forward. Thank you, Aditya ji.
Thank you. Ashok ji, thank you so much. Like I said, about the recommendations for the government to rejuvenate the industry or add stimulus to this whole package, I think that is something, if NAREDCO could put together as a recommendation and submit to the government, it is something we'll actively work on, because obviously we want the industry to survive and not survive, thrive, because your industry is directly linked with giving houses to the people. And for us as governments, a home and shelter for everyone, a roof for everyone is one of our priorities. So we would be happy to help you. I won't promise to you, I won't lie to you that every recommendation will be taken as 100% and without, seeing how it impacts the other financial capabilities of the state.
It's only for a limited period. In fact, I can assure you that you'll have more revenue in the long run if you give it to us only for 3 months.
100%. So we will decide, and we will take how to take this ahead. Of course, that is something we want to do. So that is given. And for the younger generation that you have, I don't think I'm actually experienced enough to tell them, but the only reason I got into politics is because I've seen how my grandfather, my father, or my colleagues, or my other leaders, or people across the country in this sector, one decision can actually impact so many lives, and so many lives positively that you can help. Even one person helped at the end of the day is something that can give you a smile. For a sector which is as important as yours, you are always fulfilling the dreams of the people, and the first dream of every person who starts off in this world and after college to work is to buy a home. So I mean, I don't think there's any dearth of incentives for anyone to actually jump into this, because I just think if they interact with you more in terms of just coming to office and sitting with you and how many dreams you fulfill as an industry, that is what will pull them in any which ways.
Okay, really appreciate. Thank you, Aditya.
Sir, we have people from Nasik and Pune and entire Maharashtra. So I will tell from Pune, Raju Wani to ask question. Raju Wani.
Namaste, Aditya ji. Namaste.
Namaskar.
Sir, Raju Wani, short मध्ये राहा. Short मध्ये फक्त प्रश्न विचारा. Please, आदित्य जी ने निघायचे.
Yes. एकदम. तुम्ही अतिशय माननीय मुख्यमंत्र्यांच्या बरोबर सगळे अतिशय खंबीरपणाने छान काम करताय, त्याच्याबद्दल तुमचं अभिनंदन. माझे 3 सजेशन्स होते साहेब. त्यातलं पहिलं सजेशन असं होतं की गव्हर्नमेंटकडे आज रोजी जो लेबर सेस आहे तो जवळजवळ 10,000 कोटी रुपये जमा आहे, आणि त्याच्यातले आत्ताशी फक्त आपण प्रत्येकाला 2-2 हजार रुपये दिलेत. आणि आता काय झालं की प्रत्येक जण त्याच्या पद्धतीने जी शक्य ती मदत करतोय. पण जर समजा राज्य सरकारने त्याच्यावर निर्णय घेतला आणि दर महिन्याला जर लेबर लोकांना जर महिन्याला 10,000 रुपये त्यातनं दिले, तर निश्चित सगळ्यांना खूप मोठा हातभार लागेल, आणि जे लेबर जे आज अस्वस्थ आहे त्यांना खूप मोठ्या प्रमाणात हातभार लागेल आणि खूप चांगल्या पद्धतीने ते काम होऊ शकेल. दुसरी गोष्ट अशी आहे की आता खूपच सगळीकडे निराशाजनक वातावरण आहे. तर बांधकाम व्यावसायिकांसाठी जर तुम्ही युनिफाईड DCR रूल जर पटकन जाहीर केले तर आम्हाला सगळ्यांना त्याचा खूप आनंद होईल. एवढे 2च माझे सजेशन आहेत. धन्यवाद.
नक्कीच हे दोन्ही सजेशन्स मी CM साहेबांना नक्की कळवीन. आणि मायग्रेंट लेबरसाठी खरं तर आपण महाराष्ट्रभरात साधारण 6.5 ते 6.5 लाख मायग्रेंट लेबर आपल्या सगळ्या शेल्टर होम्स मध्ये आहे, आणि आपण आता त्यांच्यासाठी राहण्याची व्यवस्था, परत सकाळी चहा नाश्ता, दुपारचं जेवण आणि रात्रीचं जेवण हे आपण सगळं करत आहोत. तर हे सगळ्या गोष्टी आपण करत आहोतच, पण इतरही काही इन्सेंटिव्ह देऊ शकतो का आपण प्रत्येक इंडस्ट्रीला, हे आपण नक्की.
हे पैसे आता तिथे पडून आहेत साहेब. हे पैसे जर आपण वापरले ना त्याचा खूप चांगला फायदा होईल.
नक्की मी तुमचं हे सजेशन पुढे देईन.
थँक्यू.
सर, नाशिक वरना राजन दर्यानानी. राजन.
Honorable Minister, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Before Vicky Oberoi mentioned baptism by fire, I was looking up Google on what is trial by fire, and it says a test in which a person is exposed to flames in order to assess his truthfulness, commitment, and courage. I think applies to you perfectly well, and you come out flying colors. To say that I'm impressed by your vocabulary, your oratory, and your thought process would be an understatement. I think all of us will sleep well tonight after having this discussion with you, thinking that Maharashtra is in safe hands. Out of your 2 portfolios, one, environment, Mother Nature must be smiling, I'm sure. Environment has improved. However, the other portfolio that you are handling, tourism, you've already spoken a lot about it, so I don't really have much to add. But the other portfolio, I think that could be one big booster to the state of Maharashtra's economy. We need to get Maharashtra back and quickly. Nasik, of course, offers tremendous potential in terms of tourism, in terms of ecotourism, in terms of nature tourism. Yesterday, we were having a discussion with Niranjan Bhai, and he was advising us on all these things. And today, we're fortunate to have you here. One small suggestion on this tourism thing, sir. One is the dams, the development around dams has been stopped due to the old circulars that were prevalent in the previous days. Last year, the irrigation department has come out with a circular clarifying and reducing the distances from dams only for tourism purpose. However, it's not being implemented by the town planning authorities because they need a GR to that effect instead of a circular. If you could just kindly look up, of course, after the pandemic, there is no rush for all these things. We all understand that priorities at this point of time are, of course, different. And the second suggestion is post-COVID situation, if you can form a small working group of developers, officers of your ministry from tourism and leaders of the tourism industry in Maharashtra, to form a small group which will identify issues and offer solutions and how to take tourism forward. I'm sure NAREDCO would be most willing to be part of that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so
सर
much.
सर बऱ्याचशा लोकांनी बऱ्याचशा गोष्टी मागितली तर माझं म्हणणं एकच आहे की ह्या सिच्युएशन मध्ये आम्हाला दोन वस्तू बाहेर काढू शकतो, एक सरकार आणि दुसरं सेल. जसं म्हणतात की मूवी मध्ये म्हणतात एंटरटेनमेंट एंटरटेनमेंट एंटरटेनमेंट, तसं मी 3 वेळाच्या ऐवजी 30 वेळा सांगेन आम्हाला फक्त सेल सेल सेलच बाहेर काढू शकतात. तर याच्यात मागण्याच्या ऐवजी सिंपल गोष्ट सांगतो की मी संपूर्ण बिल्डिंग इंडस्ट्री तर्फे आश्वासन देतो की सर स्टॅम्प ड्युटी मध्ये तुम्ही जितके कमी करशाल तेवढं डेव्हलपर भरू. म्हणजे माझं म्हणणं की तुम्ही स्टॅम्प ड्युटी 50% केली तर मी प्रत्येक डेव्हलपरला सांगेन की 50% स्टॅम्प ड्युटी डेव्हलपरने भरावी, ज्यामुळे ग्राहकाला टोटल फ्री मध्ये विदाउट स्टॅम्प ड्युटी घर मिळेल. पहिली गोष्ट. दुसरी गोष्ट, सर आज आम्ही समजा 1 कोटीचं घर विकत असेल तर त्या जवळजवळ 30 ते 35 लाख रुपये सेंटर आणि स्टेट गव्हर्नमेंटला जातात. तर माझी नम्र विनंती आहे, आपण ज्यावेळी अफोर्डेबल हाऊसिंग आणि परवडणारी घरं म्हणतोय तर नक्की स्टेटलाही पैसे पाहिजेत, पण हे जेवढे कमी केले तेवढे उत्तम आहे. आणि त्याच्यापेक्षाही दुसरी गोष्ट, आज मुंबई महानगरपालिकेने आम्हाला हप्ते दिलेले आहेत की 4 वर्ष आणि 6 वर्षाचे हप्ते दिलेले आहेत. फक्त त्या हप्त्यामध्ये एकच ऍडिशनल विनंती अशी आहे की त्याच्यात व्याज लावतात. तर साहेब आज आम्ही ऑलरेडी मेलेलो आहोत, तर आम्ही पैसे भरायला तयार आहेत, जे काय असेल त्याच्यात व्याज लावू नये. आणि ती फक्त सवलत फक्त मुंबईला न देता, आपल्याला माहिती आहे मुंबईवर आपलं खूप प्रेम आहे, पण आज आपण महाराष्ट्रावर राज्य करताय तर संपूर्ण महाराष्ट्राला द्यावी ही विनंती आहे. तिसरी गोष्ट, आपण आल्यानंतर सॉरी आपण काय ते विचारत होतो.
दोनच गोष्टी हे तर आपण करू, आपण वर्किंग ग्रुप फॉर्म करून करू. पण पहिले आपण जे मला सांगितलं की स्टॅम्प आणि हफ्ते, तर आता 2-2 हफ्त्यांचे हातावर स्टॅम्प जे आहेत ते आपल्याला कमी करायचे आहेत. तर त्याच्यासाठी सगळ्यांनी घरी राहावं ही माझी सगळ्यांना विनंती आहे. म्हणजे ते होम क्वारंटाईनचा जो स्टॅम्प आहे 2 हफ्त्याचा तो कमी आहे.
साहेब तुम्हाला मी याच्यात एक गोष्ट खरोखरच प्राऊडली सांगू इच्छितो. आज आमचे इतके लेबर कॅम्प आहेत आणि प्रत्येक लेबर आहे म्हणजे ईश्वराची कृपा आहे आणि आमची पण मेहनत आहे की तुम्ही बघितलं असेल एखाद्याही लेबर कॅम्प मध्ये आजपर्यंत एकही कोविड पेशंट नाही निघालेला आहे. आणि ते खरोखरच त्याच्याकरता आम्ही प्रत्येक डेव्हलपरला सांगितलंय, आम्ही त्यांना गाईडलाईन्स दिलेले आहेत आणि आम्ही त्यांनाही जसं आज धन्यवाद की आपल्या सरकारतर्फे त्यांना जेवण बनवून म्हणजे तयार जेवण बनवून दिलं जातं. त्याच्याबद्दल खरोखरच आम्ही नेरेडको तर्फे प्रत्येक डेव्हलपमेंट इंडस्ट्री तर्फे आपल्याबद्दल आभारी आहोत. पण आपल्या लोकांनी सुद्धा प्रत्येक डेव्हलपरनी इथे तुम्ही बघितलं असेल तर जसं दिल्लीमध्ये की लोक जसे बाहेर निघाले आणि रस्त्यावरनं चालत गेले तशी लोक मुंबई किंवा MMR मध्ये किंवा महाराष्ट्रात कुठेच दिसली नाही. त्याचं सर्वात मोठं कारण आहे की प्रत्येक डेव्हलपरनी आपल्या लेबर लोकांना स्वतःच्या साईटवर ठेवलंय, त्यांना राशन पण दिलेलं आहे, मेडिकल फॅसिलिटी दिली आहे, सोशल डिस्टन्सिंग प्रत्येक गोष्ट करून दिलेली आहे. मी निरंजन निरंजन सांगू इच्छितो की त्यांनी टोटल जे काय आपण बोललेलं आहे त्याच्यावरनं समर्पण करावं. निरंजन सर, ओव्हर टू यू. Niranjan sir, you are on mute.
Thank you again very much for coming here today. We are really proud that a young man like you is excelled in communicating all the aspects which has been done excellently. My heartiest congratulations to you. Please do communicate to the Honorable Chief Minister that the entire industry, the citizens of Mumbai, Maharashtra are all with him in all respects. We are going through pain, but we will be still supportive of you to the end of our tether. And we will see to it that together we shall win. We shall win and we will overcome this situation. We are also grateful for your analytical thought on every question that was answered. I thought that was really brilliant on your part, and I'm so happy to see the maturity that you have at this age and time. It is really heartening to see so. We will come back to you and hopefully very soon that we will communicate and be with each other again. Thank you for agreeing to take us on board for the purposes of solutions for Maharashtra and Mumbai. And we really look forward to this kind of interaction more and more in the near future. Thank you very, very much.
Niranjan sir, we have to thank Vyang also, particularly Vyang.
Vyang, thank you very much. You have been participant in that. I didn't ask, Rajan forgot to ask you to ask questions, but probably you would not have been allowed to ask them.
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't allowed to ask any question and I refrained from him specifically.
So thank you so much.
He asked
Thank all the participants. Just to give you an idea that there were at a point of time close to 2,000 people from all over India who were listening over to you. And even now till the end of the thing, it is 1,500 people who are still listening to you at such a program. So congratulations to you of this wonderful thing that you have done for us. Thank you again.
Thank you. Pleasure being here.
Aditya ji, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Aditya.
Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
Dhanyavad. Jai Maharashtra.
Jai
Jai
Maharashtra.
Maharashtra.
Aditya ji.
Thank you, Rajan bhai, and thank you.
Thank you, Raj.
Thank you,
everybody,
Niranjan ji.
to the whole team. Wonderful. Thank you,
Yeah,
Vyang.
wonderful. Really
Thank you.
wonderful.
Thank you.